Welcome, everyone, to our journey into the Pardes, the orchard of mystical wisdom. Today, we're diving into something that might just change the way you see everything. We tend to think of time as, well, as a river, right? It just flows in one direction and it carries everything and everyone away into the past. But what if I told you that's only half the story? What if it's actually possible to create days that don't just fade away, but that endure forever? It all starts with this one little phrase from the Holy Zohar: the days of a person are created. Now stop and think about that for a second. How radical is that? It doesn't say days just happen or that they pass by us. The word is created. That means there's an intention, an architect, a real purpose behind each day. This isn't just some pretty poetry, folks. This is a statement about the actual physics of reality, and it's the secret key that redefines our entire relationship with time. You know, we all experience our days like this flickering candle. They've got this beautiful, warm light, but we all know, deep down, that the wax is melting. The wick is getting shorter. Every moment feels like it's being consumed, just burning down until it becomes nothing more than a memory. But the Zohar, wow, it gives us this breathtaking alternative. It talks about the days of the righteous, and their days aren't candles. They're like radiant, fixed stars. They don't burn out. They just stay there, shining with this constant eternal light in a much higher supernal realm. They're anchored beyond the river of time. So the question is, how is that even possible? How can a finite 24-hour period become an infinite, enduring reality? To figure that out, here's the roadmap for our journey today. First, we'll look at the two kinds of days. Then we'll dive into a day's secret anatomy, uncover the engine of eternity, learn how to anchor ourselves to the infinite. And finally, we'll talk about what all this means for your days and your legacy. So let's get started. Okay, first things first. The price of admission for this whole concept is that we have to question our most basic assumption about reality: that every day is just another 24-hour block on a conveyor belt heading towards oblivion. The Zohar is asking us to see that what we call time isn't some fundamental law of the universe. It's more like a specific condition, a local weather pattern of our physical reality. The Zohar uses this incredible metaphor of a garment. So imagine the true essence of a day is pure spiritual energy. Now, for that energy to even exist in our physical world, it has to wear a garment. And that garment is the 24-hour cycle of sunrise and sunset. But, just like any physical clothing, this garment eventually gets frayed, it wears out, and it falls apart. For an ordinary day, once that garment is gone, the energy inside just, poof, it dissipates, it expires. So if a day is more than just its physical garment, what is it really? To get this, we have to go deeper. We literally have to redefine what a day is, moving way beyond the clock and into the cosmic architecture of reality itself. And this, my friends, is what the mystics call the Sod, the deep secret. And here it is. This is the big paradigm shift. A day is not a measurement of time that happens to you. It's a spiritual construct. It's a vessel, an energetic package filled with divine light and potential that's sent down from a higher dimension for us to use. Every single day is a unique entity. It's not just another tick-tock of the clock. It's a special delivery from the infinite. For our modern minds, this analogy is just brilliant. Think about your computer. An ordinary day, it's like running a temporary program. It uses up some RAM, it does its thing, and when you're done, the process is terminated, the memory gets wiped clean. It's gone forever. A righteous day, though, is completely different. It's like a persistent instance, a document you create and then save to an eternal, uncrashable cloud server. It doesn't terminate. Its state is saved forever. So the big question for us becomes, how do we change our personal storage settings? How do we go from running these temporary, local processes to creating persistent cloud instances? To answer that, we have to look under the hood of creation itself. We need to understand the cosmic engine, the divine operating system that's actually creating and sustaining these two different kinds of days. And that engine is the system of the Holy Sephirot, the divine emanations. All right, so this slide shows us the divine manufacturing process for a day. It all starts way up at the top, in a realm called Binah. This is the infinite, timeless source of all potential. That raw energy then flows down into Tiferet, which harmonizes and balances it into a sustainable life force. From there, it moves into Yesod, the foundation, and you can think of Yesod as the channel that anchors and transmits these potential days. And finally, they arrive right here, in our world, which is called Malchut, and that's where we experience them as linear time. Now, this is the default setting. This is that temporary local process we were talking about. a day comes down from these higher worlds and it shows up in Malhut. We live it, we experience it, but it stays connected only to this physical realm, the realm of expiration. It doesn't have an active data connection back to its source. And so, just like a phone that's been unplugged, its spiritual battery just gets depleted. The energy is used up and it fades away. But, and this is a huge but, the righteous do something completely different. They perform a kind of cosmic engineering. They're like spiritual network architects. They don't just passively receive the day and live in it. Through their consciousness, their intention, their sacred actions, they actively build a connection. They bind their day, everything they do in our world of Malkut, back up the chain. They establish a persistent high-speed uplink to the supernal root in Yesod. And this creates a permanent feedback loop, connecting their finite day all the way back to the infinite, inexhaustible source it came from. And this chart just maps it all out so clearly. It takes that deep, mystical process and puts it into a modern framework we can all get our heads around. Our world, Malhut, that's the local machine where things are temporary. Yesod is the API. That's the persistent connection that lets you save your data back to the source. Tiferet is the stable server that keeps it all balanced. And Bina is the core Clyde architecture itself. See, the righteous aren't just running temporary programs on a local machine. They are literally writing their actions to the eternal mainframe of reality. So, okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how does it actually become a real, tangible practice? This isn't just metaphysics to debate over coffee. The Zohar presents this as a real technology of the soul, a practical method for totally transforming our reality. And listen, this isn't about doing one or two big, heroic, flashy things. It's all about the quality of consciousness you bring to every single moment. The righteous pull this off by unifying their thoughts, their speech, and their actions with a higher purpose. They transform the mundane into the sacred. So the act of eating, of working, of talking, every moment in our world becomes an intentional act designed to reveal its own supernal root. They live in a state of what's called deveket, this constant cleaving to the divine. And here it is, this is the key. Their actions don't just happen in time, their actions literally build a bridge out of time. To put this into another framework, let's use a gaming analogy. Most of us, we're playing the game of life with a limited number of lives, right? We find some temporary power-ups, we try to survive the level, but we know that eventually that game over screen is coming. The righteous gamer, though, is playing a totally different game. They're not just trying to get a high score, they are unlocking permanent achievements. Every sacred act, every moment of real connection is an achievement that gets written permanently to their eternal profile. They aren't just using temporary power-ups, they are achieving a legacy status that is saved directly to the game's main server. Their goal isn't just to survive the level, it's to leave a permanent mark on the very code of the game itself. And for them, there is no game over, because their profile, their soul, exists eternally. Okay, so let's bring this all home. Let's land this cosmic starship right here in our daily lives. This ancient wisdom isn't just some fascinating, dusty idea. It is a blueprint. It's a user's manual for us, right here and now, to completely remaster our own relationship with time, with our days, and with our destiny. What this teaching from the Zohar does is it places this profound, powerful choice in front of us every single morning when we open our eyes. We have the agency, we have the spiritual technology to decide the ultimate fate of this day. Is it going to be just another flickering candle, beautiful for a moment, but ultimately just consumed and gone? Or will we, through our intention and our actions, transform it into a permanently shining light in the heavens? Is today going to be just another terminated process, forgotten by the system? Or will it be a state saved to the eternal cloud, a permanent part of our soul's enduring legacy? And this is not just a rhetorical question to end with. It's an invitation. It's a challenge. It's really the central question of a conscious life. Knowing what you now know, that your day is a vessel of divine light, that you have the power to connect it to an eternal source, how will you make today endure? What thought, what word, what action will you take right now to start building that bridge from this finite moment to the infinite? Every choice, no matter how small it seems, is an opportunity to build something that lasts forever. Thank you so much for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We really hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.